Jordan, Anthony. And what they're going to do is they're going to start with their haircuts, and they're going to talk a little bit about what they're going to do, and then they're going to talk a little bit about the color. And the message I want to deliver today is, one, how do we be successful? How are we successful as a salon? And I'm going to share with you as much as I can about what we do every day, all day, that keeps us in the game. Secondly, I want to challenge you, all right? And here's the challenge. When's the last time, are you ready? You intimidated yourself. When's the last time you said yes when they asked you for something that you were like, I'm not sure about that one. That's outside my 6 formulas. Okay? That does not fit my 3 highlighting techniques. Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to think about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and think about how you can intimidate yourself to go back to the salon and push yourself to the next level. Okay? That's our job. That's my job. That's my job every day. I've had 4 salons. I've had 150 employees. I have now 1 salon. I'm very happy. We have 7,000 square feet. My wife has a boutique. We have a little med spa. We have 25 stylists, and I am loving life. Okay, it's great. And so this is how we motivate. We do these photo sessions every other Tuesday. We've created a lot of great images for All Nutrient, and I thank Chuck for the opportunity. So what we're going to do is going to get started. I'm going to let Jordan speak to you a little bit about his model, Jessica, and what he's going to be doing. And I'll speak to you as well about the color. The camera guy's going to come check us out. So Jordan, why don't you introduce Jessica and what you're getting ready to do.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. What we're going to start with today on Jessica, she's a little finer out of here in the perimeter. So we're going to remove the length on top by taking a central profile guide, working the layers from shorter to longer, shorter in the crown to longer towards the recession area. After we remove the length of the layers, we're going to sort of pivot around the head, slide cutting from the shortest length on top out to the perimeter. And this is a great technique that I like to use in the salon. This is one of our collection haircuts because you can, with clients with finer hair, you can build lots of texture in through the interior while saving that perimeter. Because sometimes we have those clients with a little bit finer perimeter, and we don't want to, bring the length up too much to strengthen the perimeter because they like to save their length. We all know that. So this is just a good technique to kind of build some of that interior texture and volume without removing too much length. So here I'll just get started.
All right. Thank you, Jordan. Anthony, you want to introduce what you're getting ready to do?
Guys, how you doing? We're going to go ahead and do 2 sections on top, and then we're going to lift it up and do some slight layers in between and bring it very shaggy in the front and leave the top kind of fall on it, very full.
Is that it?
Okay, yes, for now.
He talks a lot to the clients when they're in the salon. One of the strengths is confidence when you're speaking to your customers. Now, how many of you, by a show of hands, have a client that sits in the chair and says, new client, she sits down and she says, the reason I left my last stylist is because every time I go in, I ask for something different and I walk out looking exactly the same. How many times have you done that? So the challenge is that we come to these shows and we do these classes, we take in all this information, and we go back and we do what with it? Okay? Do you use it? Do you do it 2 or 3 times and then it doesn't fit your timelines or your appointment times and so you drop it? So that's where intimidating yourself regularly, the Halo collection, and a little talk about this particular haircut right here, is graduation in the back, and then from the ear, where the ear connects forward, I've created a real strong bob line. And then from the ear forward, it's a deep drop in terms of a disconnect almost. So what I wanted to show you with Lauren is exactly that same haircut done longer. So we've got graduation through the back, then over-directed everything back to off the back of the head. Then as I came forward, everything in front of the ear was left out, left the side panel, created a bob line, and then dropped down. So what I'm going to do is I've cut it, I'm going to finish it, and then I'm going to show you a personalizing technique for this particular haircut using the all-nutrient spray gel just real lightly just to give it a little bit of control. And we're going to power dry. And then I'm going to show you some of the clips from some of the videos. Jordan, anything?
All right, so we're doing, we're taking vertical sections on the top of the head and creating an inversion through the top to remove the length so that you're shorter in through the center of the head, gradually increasing in length out towards the perimeter. And that was on top of the horseshoe section. Now we'll kind of separate it and begin to blend out to the perimeter.
Anthony?
Yes. Right here, we're going to take the top part and layer it so we can take a lot of weight from right there. I don't talk much when I work, guys, because I concentrate.
Okay. A little bit about the Halo collection that I think is an important part is, we do a lot of highlighting, we do a lot of traditional highlighting, but you also want to know how to create that dimension, how to create the movement of light by placing dark next to light always. And, one of the challenges, how many of you have heard I can't afford to get my hair color or highlighted as often as I used to? How many of you heard that? Okay. We sent out an email that said, here's are some ways that you can save money with your color. Do a partial, just do the part line, do around the face. You do that 2 times, come back, the third one will be a full highlight. Okay? That's 1. 2, come on in, just let me do your retouch right here and right here with your base color. Again, that's less color, less time, less cost. All right? Stretching out an appointment, different things like that. I hit it head on with an email to all of our clients, and you know what they say? They say, you know what, thanks for doing that. I really appreciate those ideas. All right? Some took us up on it, some didn't, but it was the thought that counts. Okay? It's how can we become a little bit better with communicating with our clients and doing things that we know, affect our own lives. I don't know about you, but, I've cut back. People aren't spending money with me. I can't keep spending the way I was spending.
Oh.
Nobody saw that, did they? Okay, so we're going to keep going. I'm going to wait for these products to pick themselves up. So what I want to talk to you about on this particular color, this is my Disney princess. Oh, you are a doll. What's your name? Here, Karen. That's for picking that up for me. Thank you. All right. Anybody else want a free gift? Oh, okay. I got you. So what we've done is she's a Disney princess. Okay, she really is. That's not a story. Her hair was to here. All right. I said, as a princess, can you have shorter hair? And she said, absolutely. Maybe. I don't know. And then I said, okay. So what we've done is she came in with level, you ready? 5 roots. And then she had gold, and then she had these light ends. So what I've done, and this is, if you're drawing, taking notes, I want you to write this down. Isosceles triangle. I don't care how you spell it. All right? Isosceles. They're long and they're narrow. All right? Now, diffusion comes from what? Little mental exercise. Take a phone book, drill a hole in it, and then look through it. No problem, right? Now take a phone book, fold it in half, drill a hole in it, then unfold it. What happens? The angle goes this way, right? Because you've diffused it. So here's your job. Go back, stop making straight lines, and start making angles. All right? Go back and make one triangle going this way. This is good because I'm bald. All right? You can see this very well. I don't need graphs. All right? So one triangle going this way, then reverse it. And you go wide to narrow, wide to narrow, wide to narrow, wide to narrow. That's how this technique is done. Okay? Wide to narrow, and we root shade all the techniques. Root shading means I take the base color, I lay it in at the scalp, the first quarter to ½ inch, and then I'll use the alternating colors or levels of blondes associated with what I want to create. So, SLC is one of the blondes that we used on her. All right, 10P is one of the blondes. Then powder lightener, 5 volume. How many times have you thought, oh my God, the highlights are going to beat my color? And then you have to run to the shampoo bowl and take the highlights out, and the color gets all confused. So you're laying in fine slices of the lighter blonde with the powder lightener. Now, as we work through the side, obviously, shapes don't work that well. So we're going to do diagonal backs, triangles, working through, all the way through into the front. Okay? Always through the back, we're doing vertical pie-shaped partings from the crown to the occipital bone, and then the base color from the scalp out to the ends, from the occipital bone down. Any questions? Okay, so I'm going to keep finishing this. Anthony, you want to talk a little bit more about your haircut? And Anthony created an ombre look on her as well. Again, I want you to keep in mind about with regard to the colors, we try and stay very commercial with everything that we do. Anthony?
Yes. She was a level 1 N, and then we have to lift it to level 7. And then we did an ombre on it. As you see, try not to dry the hair, because when you level 1, to lift it to 7, that's a lot.
Okay, so this young lady came in with black hair. She said, I like my black hair. And I said, I can appreciate that, but we have to change it. So using the all-nutrient powder bleach, 10 volume, 20 volume, section by section, starting in the nape, we paneled it in and brought it up to a level 7. Then going back through that particular shape, diagonal again, moving from the front up to the crown. We went in with a 4C and a 5C, because when you strip color, you don't always get next to the head. You don't always get the exact color. Sometimes it drips a little bit further, so you have a little bit lighter. Sometimes it drips further away, so we had to play with 4 and 5 depending on how much lightness we got next to the scalp. Then we used 5 mid-shaft, and then we used the powder lightener and 10 volume on the shaft and ends to kind of kick it out and give it that lightness. One of the things that we do a lot of is an overlay. Overlay being a glossing or sort of a shiner or toner, if you will, depending on the need. You can do anything from a clear to a pigmented carrot tint, which is their semi-permanent. So when it was all finished, we went back through with the carrot tint, and I think it was, what was the final formula, 7R, Anthony?
7
Or was it 7RB?
RB.
7RB. 7RB back over top of the ombre lightning, and that pushed in the tone. Jordan, how you doing?
Good. I've kind of worked around the head shape, slide cutting the layers out to the length. And now I'm going in and just cleaning up her perimeter and kind of shortening everything. And then I will work through the fringe and then move on to the blow dry.
How many all nutrient users out there? Okay. Certifiably organic, and what I can tell you is that I have worked for several manufacturers, color, and it's just a situation that I got into doing photographic work. Chuck and I were talking, and he said something about doing some images for him. And so, have you been to the booth? Has anybody seen the booth? The big, huge booth? The All Nutrient booth has this beautiful redhead, 12 feet tall. I did that particular look in Los Angeles last summer. And so Chuck and I started talking, and he said, well, try the color, see what you think. And so each time I do a photo shoot, I was using the All Nutrient color, and I was like, this stuff is pretty good. So he said, would you be interested in creating some more images and working with the color more? And I said, absolutely. So I was kind of a backdoor entrance into All Nutrient from that perspective, because I just started from a distance and having the opportunity to use the color. The blondes are, as you can see on the poster, these are a combination of, I even put a B on that particular blonde at the base, and it just blew me away, the color. Right after I did it, they PR'd the shoot, and she'll be on a cover this month somewhere. They called me and said that, we want to use it for a cover. What did you use? And I was like, wow, that's awesome. But at the end of the day, when I say intimidate yourself, you have to be able to intimidate yourself in a way that you're comfortable with what you're using, and you feel confident that what you see is what you get, what you formulate is going to be the real deal, and can you actually work it? So that's really what I wanted to stress in terms of why I came on board. The dye load is definitely there. So if you haven't tried it, what I'm going to suggest to you is that Chuck has an interesting approach to allowing people to sort of test drive the product. And it's got a little, I think it's a 5 or 6 color deal. You get 5 of the most popular shades and choices for like $10 or something along those lines. I think there may have been something on the, here, I'll trade you. There may have been something on your chair when you first came in. But that's why I came on board, because it really is an amazing color, and I just have thoroughly enjoyed playing with it. So working back through the back, she's got a lot of thickness. I cut the frame in here, deep point cutting. Releasing the weight. Now again, you'll notice this line has been cut, graduated or shorter in the nape to longer towards the crown. I want to release some of that curl. Jordan, any thoughts?
How many newer hairdressers do we have out here? If I could give you guys, some advice, because I myself am, I have not been in the business very long. Really just, don't be around people that you know, you guys are here at the show. You guys are obviously, you know, passionate about what you do. You know, a big thing for me is just, you know, surrounding myself. You know, I'm very lucky to be in a salon where we have, you know, very talented, passionate people. If I can say one thing, just surround yourself with them, and just stay involved. You know, stay involved with things. You know, if there's education going on in your salon, you know, just stay involved. You know, we do a lot of, you know, we have, you know, our junior stylist training. And since I've been there, starting to work with my dad, you know, we've kind of turned that into a little model night. So we, you know, we hire a photographer that, you know, maybe could be trying to get, you know, some work, or maybe trying to build their portfolio, as long as, you know, also you're trying to build your portfolio. It's a great way to just, you know, get inspired, and you'll see it'll motivate your senior stylist in the salon too.
There was a blonde in the series of pictures that was a very, very pastel blonde. And every now and then, when you've got a great texture that you can work with, I cut her hair entirely like this while it was wet. And the beauty of that was really random textures. And I tried to, you know, create an internal guideline and an external guideline, but at the same time, just letting the scissors land where they may. And you'll see it in a lot in the DVDs. You'll see a lot of really random, more sculpting kinds of approaches. And I think the best way anybody ever explained it to me is a Japanese guy. And we were talking, and he was teaching me this, and I'm like, what are you doing? He said, cut this way, energy go this way. Cut this way, energy go this way. And I'm like, okay, I got it. You got it? The idea is that as many ways as we can deliver a new experience and improve the relationship, because how many of your clients will know that you came to this show this weekend? How many? How will they know? How many of you are right now tweeting and Facebooking and blogging about your experiences here? Okay? Let me tell you something. It's amazing. Those of you who aren't there, find those who can. Okay? That's the point. You know, bring that fresh perspective. I've got 4 or 5 of my staff members back there tweeting, Facebooking, taking pictures, talking about all that we're doing. In a few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to some of our fashion models. And this is what we did. We're from North Carolina. NC State has a fashion competition. So this young lady who's friends with our salon won a couple of these clothing competitions. So she's designed some clothing, some dresses, some outfits, and she's pulling fabric and pinning it, and she's got sewing machines in the room, and she's just wailing and whipping. And so I've got a really great treat for you. This young lady's got a chance to sort of express herself in her own medium, which is clothing. And so she's back there fixing the models as we speak. So we'll bring those out in a few minutes and show those to you as well. But I guess my point is, never stop being fresh and creative with what we do. All right. 30 years in the business. I see some of you. How many are 30 in the business? All right. And guess where they are? All in the front row. Okay. 30 years. My father was a hairdresser. My mother's mother was a hairdresser. I'm writing a book. Son of a hairdresser, son of a hairdresser. Okay. So my son, I've got 2 sisters. They're both in the business. And it's just, it permeates us from the bone marrow, I think. But it is something that we all enjoy and really love the creativity piece.
All right, so we finished the haircut here. I just went in and wanted to break up the top a little bit, and using still a drier slide cutting technique, you can kind of blend the perimeter or blend the layers that we removed the length from kind of out to the perimeter without still cutting into that perimeter line. Also on her, we've kind of got that switch fringe where we've removed weight on both sides, and you see the color differently, the different ways that she wears it. So we've gone in dry and done a little bit of point cutting and a little bit of slide cutting to finish the look.
And something else on Jessica that Jordan's working with is very shallow recession areas, okay? So what we've done, and what I'd like to do a lot of, is step in and create this short croppy fringe right here, just on that corner, which allows that hair to kind of fill in. And then, if you comb that down, you can see the angle that's created, but that angle that was created is not cut blunt this way. You take diagonal across, over directed back to this corner, excuse me, and then cut. You keep lower elevation for a more solid fringe. Higher elevation will soften and build more graduation, okay? That's the perfect way to allow her to have a little bit of cover and then sweep across, okay? We also accented this particular color with highlights. Again, she was black all over. We had to strip it. Then we actually went back in and worked with the highlights that were underneath the black, added a few more, and then did an overlay. Again, just a really beautiful color, finished very simply, a little bit of soft graduation, just taking basic components of hair cutting, really hard lines, disconnections, soft lines, lots of texture. Learn how to play with texture, learn how to utilize the products to your advantage. Again, her was just a little bit of spray gel and then the gloss mist for finish. Again, with Jessica, you can see what we did is horseshoe section. We brought everything up, cut long to short in the crown, gives you a nice crown movement there. Then we lift this up and we slide into the longer length. And what that does is it creates a great disconnect, builds a lot of nice character shape, head shape to the back, all right, but you still have a nice solid edge with fine hair at the bottom. All right, so you're not layering way down here, you're layering way up here, okay? Jordan did a great job. Again, the color, just a little splash of accent in the front. You can get that off your lip for you there. Okay. It's good protein, but not today. All right? So there you go. Beautiful look by Jordan. Thank you, Jordan.
Okay. I'm just gonna explain a little bit right here. Back here, we lift it up. We took all the weight from here, and then we lay it down. If you look at a lot of texture in there. It's very sexy, very sassy. She's ready. Beautiful, baby.
Okay, thank you, Anthony.